Hello everyone, this is Gary from Fantastic Fundas, and in this polity lecture, I will be talking to you about the fundamental rights. In the earlier lecture, I gave you the legal background of the polity lecture. Okay, so in this lecture, basic thing I will be talking to you about would be about all the fundamental rights, and in addition to that, I will give you political background. So let's quickly finish the political background of the fundamental rights. Okay, because this was pending in the last lecture. Political background of the lecture, okay, of the fundamental rights, political background. Okay, so whenever I'm teaching you can always take notes of these lectures if you want to revise again through notes. Otherwise you can always listen to these lectures, ठीक है, because अभी क्या होता है कि मैं बहुत मेहनत लगती है मेरी lectures बनाने में, takes a lot of hard work in making a background for these lectures. So what you're going to actually is listen to these lectures again. If you listen to them, they will remain with you forever, for a longer time. अगर आप lecture को दोबारा सुन लेते हैं तो आपके साथ ज़्यादा देर रहेगा, क्योंकि जब आप notes बनाएंगे हो सकता है कोई ना कोई चीज़ आप मिस कर जाएं. मैं भी क्योंकि आई स्पीक अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स एंड आई राइट नॉट एवरीथिंग. ओके, सब कुछ तो लिखना पॉसिबल भी नहीं हो पाएगा. खैर, राइट. सो बेसिकली व्हाट हैपेंड दैट इट वाज इन द ईयर 1928. दिस इज अ वेरी क्विक बैकग्राउंड ऑफ द फंडामेंटल राइट्स. दिस इज अ पॉलिटिकल बैकग्राउंड. ओके, नाउ इन 1928 देयर वाज अ सीरीज ऑफ ऑल पार्टी कॉन्फ्रेंस. ओके, नाउ देयर वर ऑल पार्टी कॉन्फ्रेंसेस एंड दोज वर हेडेड बाय मोतीलाल नेहरू. ओके, so Motilal all party conferences was there, and under Motilal Nehru a constitutional draft was prepared. Okay, ML Nehru, right, under him. And there a constitutional scheme came, and this report is called as Nehru report. We will be talking about this in our history lecture in detail. Okay, and then then in this constitution there was a call for a parliamentary democratic system. This was kind of a constitution. Then in 1931 there was a Congress session. In this Congress session, this was in Karachi. Okay, so and in this session what happened, that Congress committed that we will be giving to the people of India some basic fundamental rights and liberties, right, and which will include social economic rights. Okay, so through this political experience of freedom struggle, so we have two kind of freedom experience, right. So हमने जो fundamental right डाले, दो किस्म के experience से डाले. One was the experience of the freedom struggle, and the other was the freedom of constitutions of other people. For example, there is UK का, UK has this Bill of Rights, right. So we learned from their experience. Then we learned from USA also got it, Bill of Rights of USA, right. And then France, we learned from them also regarding fundamental rights, and that was about the declaration of the rights of man. Okay, so that was by France, right. So मोटे तौर पर इतना ही political background है. I don't want to go into much detail of this. There is no need for that as such, right. Now if we talk about the fundamental rights in India, right, now just one more thing, right, before I begin with the lecture, and that is can these fundamental rights be suspended? Now this topic will be covered when I talk to you about emergency, and this will be basically article number 358 and 359, right. And that is like one topic. And then there is a term called basic structure of constitution. I hope you are aware of this term. And then all the legal history and the legal टर्मिनोलॉजी एंड लीगल सारा कुछ जो लॉ कानूनी तौर पे कुछ बेसिक चीज़ें थी जो मैंने आपको पहले समझाई, ठीक है. तो कुछ सारे डॉक्ट्रिन्स थे या कुछ भी ऐसी जो चीज़ें थी जो लास्ट लेक्चर में थी फंडामेंटल राइट्स के, उनको समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है इफ़ यू वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड फंडामेंटल राइट्स. ओके, एंड नाउ आई विल बिगिन विद द फंडामेंटल राइट्स ऑफ इंडिया, राइट. नाउ दीज फंडामेंटल राइट्स, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू मस्ट अंडरस्टैंड द क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ फंडामेंटल राइट्स इन इंडिया. जो इंडिया में ये हुई है, ये 6 किस्मों में हो रखी है, ठीक है. तो जैसे कि मैंने आपको कहा था पहले, जो फंडामेंटल राइट्स हैं, द फर्स्ट फंडामेंटल राइट दे आर एसोसिएटेड विद द राइट टू इक्वालिटी, एंड इन दिस बेसिकली इज डेल्ट थ्रू आर्टिकल नंबर 14 to 18. ओके, देन वी टॉक अबाउट द राइट टू फ्रीडम्स. फ्रीडम, आज़ादी, इक्वालिटी है जो बराबरता, सब बराबर हैं इसके अंदर. तो फ्रीडम के अंदर क्या हो रहा है, 19 to 22 आर्टिकल चल रहे हैं. देन थर्ड नंबर पे इज राइट अगेंस्ट एक्सप्लॉयटेशन. फीमेल्स की, बूढ़ों की, शेड्यूल कास्ट, शेड्यूल ट्राइब, किसी की भी, आप जो बहुत सारे लोग, आप नहीं मतलब कुछ और जो लोग करते हैं एक्सप्लॉयटेशन, उसके अगेंस्ट है, ठीक है जी. इंसान को इंसान ही मान के चले, इंसान इंसान को इंसान ही मान के चले, इसीलिए राइट ह्यूमंस आर ह्यूमेन इनफ टुवर्ड्स द ह्यूमैनिटी, इसी की हम बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे अगर 23-24 के अंदर राइट. एंड देन नंबर 4 इज फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन, एंड दिस रिलीजन जो चौथी क्लासिफिकेशन है, दिस इज फ्रॉम आर्टिकल नंबर 25 to 28. And then you have the fifth classification, which is about the cultural and educational rights, because we are very obsessed with our culture and our education system, whatever it is, right? So that is dealt with in article 29-30, because we want to preserve our culture, promote our culture. अच्छी बात है जो कि बड़ी उसी से हम exist करते हैं. What is the difference between USA and India? USA doesn't have a culture of its own. Now it has developed its own culture. Originally it didn't have it. Okay, khair, you know, whatever, there was a very small culture, and now there has it's slowly developing diversity with coming going of Indians there. Okay, then next thing is the finally, you know, if you have all these rights, every right is incomplete without a constitutional remedy, right? Constitutional remedy, this is a symbol for constitution I use. Constitutional remedy is a personal symbol, and that is covered under article 32. Now there are few other articles under the chapter of under this part 3 of the constitution. The other articles, I will be dealing with those articles also, and you will be shocked to know those articles, because I'm sure most of the people do not read them at any stage in their study, or even during when they're preparing for any exam. They miss those articles. Anyway, moving on. So we begin, if you remember, we ended the part 2 of our constitution on article number 11. ठीक है जी, पार्ट 2 हमने आर्टिकल 11 पर खत्म किया था, जिसके अंदर हमने कहा था, इन विच आई टोल्ड यू दैट द पार्लियामेंट हैज द पावर टू रेगुलेट द सिटीजनशिप, राइट? वी कवर्ड सिटीजनशिप. आई होप यू रिमेंबर सिटीजनशिप बाय हार्ट नाउ, एंड आई कवर्ड द सिटीजनशिप एक्ट 2015 ऑल्सो इन दैट. आई होप यू रिमेंबर, बिकॉज अब उसका क्वेश्चन गलत मत कराना कहीं पे. खैर, यू नो, okay, so before I explain you article 12, I'll begin my lecture rather with on fundamental rights on the article 13, right? Now these two articles, they are the general articles, they are not the fundamental rights, right? But to understand article 12, what is its use? It's a definitional article, actually. It defines something, right? Whatever it defines, we'll talk about that. But before that, I will start my lecture with article 13. Okay, now what does article 13 say? Okay, if you have your Bayer Act, आप अपना please Bayer Act ले आइए, you can open it. I will teach you through that only. Okay, so article 13 clause 1, it says that now, just like, you know, we had this citizenship का concept, right? In citizenship, what did I teach you? That there are two basically ways, right? The number one way is there are two ways of citizenship. The constitution deals with the citizenship of India before the 26th January 1950. All the articles deal with that. And for the part, you know, the citizenship after 26th January 1950, right? After, okay, let me put the word after here. After 1950, this is dealt through Indian Citizenship Act 1955 with various amendments, including 2015 amendment. Okay, now similar way, the fundamental rights, their enforcement in the country has been divided into two parts. Okay, the one, now see, the law is that no law in India, the article is that no law in India can breach FR. Okay, no law can breach FR, fundamental rights. It cannot abridge the FRs. Okay, abridge. Okay, abridge का मतलब होता है छोटा कर देना. Okay, तो कोई भी law cannot, no law can do abridgment of FRs. So keeping this in mind, right, we'll move ahead. Okay, now it says that article 13 clause 1, it basically is saying that all the laws enforced in India, now this is obviously, first we'll talk about before the constitution came. It says that any law, right, any law that came before, right, before 26 January 1950, right, it's regarding these laws. Okay, what does it say? That all the laws that came before 26 January 1950, the date of commencement of constitution, right, if they are inconsistent, अब पुराना लॉ चल रहा था, वो हमारे प्रेजेंट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के मुताबिक तो बने नहीं था. लॉ तो इंडिया में 1940-50 से पहले भी थे ना जी, तो हमने तो कंटिन्यूशन की थी. फॉर एग्जांपल आईपीसी वाज देयर, राइट? आईपीसी केम इन 1860, देन सीआरपीसी केम, एंड देन दैट वाज ऑल मच बिफोर, राइट? सीपीसी केम, एंड इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट इज देयर, एंड सो मेनी अदर laws, right? Indian Partnership Act is there. n number of acts I can name, right? Land Acquisition Act is that has not been repealed. So all these laws are, all these set of laws, they came before independence. Now all these laws, if they are existing before constitution, that means they were not made keeping in mind the constitution of India. अगर ये कानून कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन आने से पहले बने, इसका मतलब ये हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को मद्देनजर रखते हुए नहीं बने थे. So if they were not formed keeping in mind the present constitution, so we have a provision about these laws. Our constitution, what does it say? It says that all these laws which came before this date, and if they are inconsistent with any or all, if they are inconsistent with any FR, okay, with any fundamental right, they would be void to that extent. Okay, void is a word of English, void is an English word which means, okay, let me just change the color for your convenience. Void means khali, empty, right? Empty, void is empty, okay, right? Khali, कुछ भी नहीं है, बेकार है वो, is useless, right? It's not worthy, it's wrong, it's not valid. Void का meaning ये है, ठीक है. Now it's inconsistent with any fundamental right. Okay, now regarding term void, I would like to add one more thing. Please listen to this carefully. I will be using this word very soon more. So there is a word called void ab initio. ओके, लीगल टर्मिनोलॉजी है एब इनिशियो. इसका मतलब क्या है? फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगनिंग, राइट? फ्रॉम बिगनिंग. ओके, void means it's wrong, it's valid, invalid, it's not acceptable. Void का meaning है. And ab initio means from the beginning. So when I say void ab initio, it means it's not acceptable from the very beginning. Okay, that is what it means. So if any law that came before 26 January 1950 and it is inconsistent with any fundamental right, ओके ऐसा, तो वो जो कानून होगा वो वॉइड होगा. ओके, एंड यू नो ऑल, लेकिन वो पूरे का पूरा लॉ नहीं वॉइड हो जाएगा. अब कहने का मतलब क्या है? एक ये कानून की बुक है, राइट? इसके अंदर 10 सेक्शन, 1 2 3 एंड यू नो यहाँ पर 8 9 10 ऐसे, यू नो दिस अ बुक ऑफ लॉ विच हैज 10 सेक्शंस इन इट. The last 3 sections 8 9 10 were not as per the new constitution of India, and rest of the sections were valid. So only the rest of the sections were, you know, they would be called void and rest would be valid, right? To put it in more simpler word, there are 10 sections. Okay, now this is 1, this is 8 and this is 10, right? Now what happens that if these sections over here they are against the constitution, then only this much part of the constitution would be of the law would be void and rest of the part would be valid. ये हमारे लॉ में लिखा हुआ है. ओके, तो all laws in force in the territory of India, okay, so they that were there before the constitution, they would be void only to that extent. Okay, now to better understand Article 13 Clause 1, see, you might feel after listening to this lecture that I am doing polity in too much detail. आपको कुछ लोगों को हो सकता है लगे कि मैं पॉलिटी बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल में कर रहा हूँ, बट आई कैन टेल यू पॉलिटी यू मस्ट स्टडी प्रॉपरली, ढंग से, इन प्रॉपर डिटेल. If you do not believe me that polity should not be studied to such a detail, please go and look at the marks of everyone, including top 10 ranks of last year and the year before that in paper 2 in UPSC mains, right? आप किसी के भी नंबर उठा के देख लीजिए, किसी के भी नंबर नहीं आ रखे हैं वहां पर पॉलिटी के अंदर, ठीक है ना? तो थोड़ा सा प्लीज बी केयरफुल विद द पॉलिटी, ढंग से लिखिए, जैसे मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ, बहुत सारी चीजें फैक्ट्स होंगे, मेंशन कीजिए उनको, देन यू विल स्कोर बेटर. ओके, नाउ टू अंडरस्टैंड आर्टिकल 13 क्लॉज 1 बेटर, यू विल हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड फ्यू मोर थिंग्स, राइट? दिस वाज अबाउट 13(1) अभी तक का. ओके, नाउ व्हाट इज दैट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड बेटर विद आर्टिकल 13 क्लॉज, टू बेटर अंडरस्टैंड 13(1), व्हाट आर दोस थिंग्स? नंबर 1 इज नो रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव इफेक्ट. नो रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव इफेक्ट. ओके, इसका मतलब देखते हैं क्या है. इट मीन्स दैट, सी, जो यू नो द प्रोविजंस ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन विच आर रिलेटेड टू FR, all the law articles which are related to FR, they do not have a retrospective effect, not a retrospective effect. Okay, basically, you know, all the laws which I talked about, laws which are void because of article 13 clause 1, हाँ, अगर जो ये लॉज वॉइड हैं, जो इनकी बात मैं कर रहा था, दे आर इनकंसिस्टेंट, राइट? नाउ दे बिकम वॉइड ओनली, राइट? अब यू नो फ्रॉम व्हेन दे वुड बी कंसीडर्ड वॉइड, दे वुड नॉट बी वॉइड एब इनिशियो. ओके, एब इनिशियो, राइट? No, they are not void ab initio. In fact, they are valid from so they are void from 26 January 1950. Okay, that is important fact over here. And you know, and all the acts all the law, all the, you know, अब क्या हुआ before, just let me give you an example, right? For example, and let's suppose, okay, this is just an example, example ही है सिर्फ समझने के लिए, ऐसा है नहीं है, ठीक है, कि मान लीजिए before 1950 it was legal, allowed था to murder anyone in India. Okay, this was legal, just to understand. Okay, या चोरी करना allowed था, या legal था murder करना, कुछ भी मान लीजिए, right? Now after 26 January, you know, there is you know, this thing, what do we have, this constitution, and then, you know, the under which you have, under article 21 you have right to life, you all know this. Now this becomes, this thing becomes wrong. Now if you have committed a murder before 26 January 1950, then, you know, that would not be wrong, but if you do it after the commencement of the constitution, then it would be wrong, right? Obviously IPC was there. This is just to give you an example, confuse मत हो जाइएगा यहाँ पे मेरी इस example से, okay? So that is like number one, there is no retrospective effect, okay? Right, okay. Number two, now this is rule of severability. इसका मतलब क्या देखते हैं हम? Now suppose, you know, there is a law, right? You know, there's a law, suppose this is the law, right? This is the sentence of the law, this is section of the law, okay, just supposing it, okay. Now this was perfectly valid law before constitution came, but what happens that this become, this part of the law, just this part of the law, it becomes void because of the after the constitution came into force, okay. So the general rule is that only this much part would become void, and rest of the part, this would remain a valid law. Only the part of the law that is void, you know, that is wrong as per constitution, that will become void, okay. But you know, sometimes it may happen that this part is so, you know, associated with this part is so very well connected with this part. देखिए क्या हुआ, एक कोई लॉ था, उसके 3 टुकड़े थे, ठीक है, उस लॉ का एक टुकड़ा गलत हो गया, तो जो एक टुकड़ा गलत हुआ है वो टुकड़े को हम गलत मानेंगे, वो, लेकिन बाकी टुकड़े लॉ के ठीक रहेंगे. लेकिन कई बार क्या हो जाता है कि कई जो ये एक लॉ का टुकड़ा है बाकी टुकड़ों से कुछ ऐसे जुड़ा हुआ है कि इनको आपस में तोड़ा ही नहीं जा सकता. यू नो, दीज लॉज आर सो इंटरकनेक्टेड विद ईच अदर, दैट्स एक्चुअली वन लॉ, दिस कैन नॉट बी ब्रोकन फ्रॉम द अदर लॉ. ठीक है, इन दिस केसेस, यू नो, व्हाट विल हैपन, दिस कंप्लीट लॉ विल बिकम वॉइड, राइट. ये पूरा गलत हो जाएगा, जितना भी ये लॉ है सारे का सारा गलत हो जाएगा, राइट. दिस इज व्हाट इज विल हैपन, राइट. Number 3, that one was retrospective and doctrinal severability. Number 3, this can come in your prelims paper also. It will be very simple. They'll give you a statement आपके prelim के paper के अंदर, and you will be confused if you do not follow this thinking. Yes, remains में आ सकता है. Okay. Now it comes then doctrine. You know, this doctrine of eclipse. Let's talk about it. Doctrine of eclipse, right? Now. See, to understand this doctrine, we will have to follow a few case laws also. Okay, so case law के नाम से घबराइएगा मत. I'll mention the name of the case which you have to remember by heart. Other cases, even if you don't remember the name, but just remember what's said in the case, and without mentioning the name of the case, you say that the law is so and so, or you know, you can either you remember the name of the case, right, or what you can do, you can say that in a decided case, Supreme Court held that अब जो मर्जी इसके बाद लिख दीजिए, right. You know, this way it happens. Okay, so what is this doctrine of eclipse? So now this doctrine was propounded, इसकी शुरुआत, इसका जन्म कहां पर हुआ? इसका एक केस था जिसका नाम था भीकाजी नारायण वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ मध्य प्रदेश, state of MP. Okay, this case, in this doctrine came, right. Now what does this doctrine say? Let's talk about it. Now it says that you know, it clarified, right. Now it says that suppose there is any law, okay, and for example this was particular law, okay, it had this section which had certain parts in it. This is a section, right, section. इसके अंदर कुछ भी टेक्स्ट लिखा होगा ना, जैसे इसके अंदर लिखा होगा इफ यू कमिट मर्डर यू विल बी हैंग टू डेथ. आई एम जस्ट सिंप्लीफाइंग इट, राइट. इट्स नॉट, इट्स लिटिल कॉम्प्लेक्स लैंग्वेज. इट कैन बी सिंपल, इफ यू कमिट मर्डर यू विल बी हैंग टू डेथ. वेरी सिंपल, राइट. कुछ टेक्स्ट होगा, दिस इज रिप्रेजेंटिंग टेक्स्ट, ये शब्दों को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है. तो यू नो, इट सेज दैट कि जब भी यू नो एनी, हमने अभी पढ़ा कि दिस पर्टिकुलर लॉ let's say this particular law becomes void. Okay, this becomes void. Now the doctrine of eclipse says that this becomes void, but it doesn't become a dead law. ये law मर नहीं जाता, ये law खत्म नहीं हो जाता. This law still exists, right? It is not dead altogether. In fact, it is overshadowed by FR. Okay, right? होता क्या है? See, ग्रहण, eclipse means ग्रहण, right? This is the law, right? And you know this over here, this is the this is law, and this is the this is our constitution. Okay, what happens when constitution came into force? A part of law became void because of the constitution, right? Now this doctrine of eclipse says that इसको ये ग्रहण लग गया, यहाँ पे ये ग्रहण है. Okay, this is not इसको क्या कहते हैं, खत्म नहीं हो गया. अब ये जब ग्रहण लगता है किसी चीज को, what happens? उसके नीचे चीज छुपी हुई होती है, यही होता है ना जी. सी इफ यू सी, ये क्या हुआ, नीचे छुपा हुआ है, वो पहले से वो वहां पर है मौजूद. ओके, सो दैट मीन्स इसको सिर्फ छुप गया, इसको एक्लिप्स लग गया, इसकी एग्जिस्टेंस नहीं खत्म हुई, राइट? दैट मीन्स इस एग्जिस्टेंस वाज देयर, right? I'll just for the English speaking people, the existence of law doesn't vanish just because the constitution has overlapped it. Okay, what has happened, that is overshadowed. So this is what doctrine of eclipse is. That doesn't become dead, right? Now what is the importance of this? Okay, I'll tell you that. Basically जो eclipsed part है, you know, this part over here which has been eclipsed, this eclipsed part, if you see, this is normal law, but this has, उसके ऊपर छाया आ गई है और ये you know छाया गायब हो गई. Okay, but this part is still in existence, this over here. So this lined part over here जो ये है यहाँ पे, this, you know, it's a good law. You know, अगर कोई क्वेश्चन कभी उठ जाए कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के आने से पहले लॉ कैसा था. Okay, it is good law when a question arises for determination of rights and obligations which incurred before the commencement of the constitution, right? And it is also important to determine the rights of the individuals who have not been given the fundamental rights by the constitution. Okay, I'll just repeat it for you. What does it say? That for determination of rights, right? It's for determination of rights, you know, and you know which rights and obligations which occurred before constitution came, and on the and determination of rights of people or who don't have FRs under constitution, right? For example, foreign citizens. Okay, so this is the thing in this, right? So there are two purposes solved by this, right? Now what happened, this case of Bikaji Narayan, right? Now later on, after this, you know, there came one more case. Now you don't have to remember that case name, just remember the story that I am telling you. कहानी अरे भाई, cases are nothing but the stories. पहले बीकाजी भुजिया वाले है ना, बीकाजी भुजिया खा रहे थे, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बना, हम क्या कर रहे थे, बैठ के वो ईटिंग भुजिया, यू नो, बीकाजी का, वो भी नॉट हल्दीराम इज नॉट लाइक्ड बाय कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन मेकर्स. दैट इज हैपेंड इन कॉन्स्टिट्यूंट असेंबली, एवरीवन वाज एंजॉयिंग बीकाजी का भुजिया. तो दैट केम, शुरू में ही आ गया ना ये केस, जब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन आया 1951 के अंदर, 55 का केस है ये, तो शुरू में ही आ गया ये, ठीक है ना. देन केम द केस ऑफ दीपचंद. यू डोंट हैव टू रिमेंबर नेम ऑफ दिस केस, बट आई विल जस्ट टेल यू द स्टोरी ऑफ इट. अरे लॉ इज नथिंग बट स्टोरीज, ठीक है. तो क्या कहानी है इसके अंदर, डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ एक्लिप्स वाज एप्लीकेबल ओनली टू प्री कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल लॉज, राइट? वी नो दिस, राइट? एंड पोस्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल लॉज दे से, नाउ मान लीजिए अब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बन गया, यहाँ पे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बनने के बाद, यू नो, सम लॉ कम्स, राइट? सम लॉ कम्स, ओके, एंड यू नो this which the law comes, right? Now this becomes, they say, void ab initio, right? Void ab initio. जो ये लॉ है, ये एक मरे हुए बच्चे की तरह पैदा हुआ है. जो ये void ab initio है, जो लॉ होता है, शुरू से ही गलत है ये लॉ. इस केस में कहा गया दीपचंद के केस के अंदर, ओके, दीपचंद केस, राइट? But again, now this Deepchand case over here, I'll just rub the few things on this page for better explanation of the thing. Okay, so this Deepchand case, this was overruled. यानी कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि नहीं, दीपचंद में पहले फैसला गलत हुआ था, अब हम नया फैसला देंगे. एंड This case is very famously known as the Shri Ambika Mills case. पेपर में अगर मार्क्स लेकर आने हैं, यू हैव टू राइट टू थिंग्स, वन इज द नेम ऑफ द केस एंड वन इज द डिटेल्स ऑफ द केस. मैं बता रहा हूं, अदरवाइज बैठे रहेंगे आप. सिंपल. एंड देन इन दिस केस श्री अंबिका मिल्स, लॉ मीन्स रट्टा, सिंपल एज दैट. आई नो वन थिंग, ठीक है जी. और लॉ मैंने बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ रखा है, ये मुझे मालूम है इस चीज का. देयर आर टू थिंग, अंडरस्टैंडिंग पार्ट आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग इट टू यू, रट्टा इज योर पार्ट, दैट इज योर रोल, दैट आई कैन नॉट डू मच इन इट, बट आई विल हेल्प यू रिमेंबर थिंग्स, ठीक है ना. और ये वहां पर क्या कर रहे थे, बीका जी का भुजिया खा रहे थे, और अंबिका इज गॉडेस, उसकी प्रेयर कर रहे थे, और क्या कर रहे थे, ठीक है ना. Then now you know what happened, that this was in 1974. साल नहीं important, केस जब मर्जी हुआ हो. Now it overruled this decision of Deep Chand and all. It said that post constitutional law, जो post constitutional law यानी constitution के बनने के बाद the law that was made, this law is not void ab initio. That means this law can be void, but it cannot be void ab initio, right? Because why, on what basis, इसने किस आधारभूत पे ये बात बोली, इस पे बोली कि हमारे कानून बनाने वाले जो ऑनरेबल, इज्जतदार, ईमानदार हमारे जो पार्लियामेंटेरियंस बैठे हैं, दोज पीपल दे कैन नॉट मेक अ बैड लॉ. व्हेन यू से वॉइड एब इनिशियो, इसका मतलब उनकी इंटेंट ही गलत थी. नो, because there is no presumption that the legislature intends to violate the constitutional provision, right? There is no presumption, right? No presumption that these legislatures intend to violate constitution. So there cannot be law which is void ab initio, right? And further, such a post constitutional law, right, it might not be a valid law for Indian purpose of Indians, but it might be valid law for the purpose of people who do not have fundamental rights. So on this question, court held that even on the post constitutional laws, the doctrine of eclipse would be applicable. Okay, so that was about article number 13 clause 1. Don't worry, not all articles would be done in so much of detail. Okay, now I'll quickly move to article number 13 clause 2 and clause 3 and 4. We'll talk about that. Okay, now article 13 clause 2, it says that state shall not make any law. Okay, these words are here are important. State यानी government है जो, state shall not make any law. These words are important. Any law which takes away or abridges the rights conferred by part 3 of the constitution, which okay, let me just write it. Takes away rights by part 3. Okay, part 3 is fundamental rights, right? Now see what happens. This article 13 clause 2 is saying this, right? Now basically just as like our pre-constitutional law, right, okay, it's very simple, right? State cannot make a law which abridges our right. And what do you mean by this word law over here? This has been defined in article 13 clause 3, right? Now it can be anything, right? It can be an ordinance जो हमारे प्रेसिडेंट इशू करते हैं. ऑर्डिनेंस होता है. आपको ना ये वर्ड्स, छोटे छोटे वर्ड्स की डिफरेंशिएशन करने की जरूरत नहीं फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ दिस थिंग जनरल स्टडीज, बट जनरल नॉलेज के लिए इसकी जरूरत नहीं है. लेकिन फिर भी ऑर्डिनेंस तो आपको पता होना चाहिए जो प्रेसिडेंट इशू करता है बिकॉज ऑफ सम अर्जेंसी. इसके बारे में विल टॉक अबाउट व्हेन वी डू प्रेसिडेंट. ओके, देन एनीथिंग, ऑर्डर किसी का भी हो सकता है. बाय लॉज जो जैसे कि म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन के होते हैं. इट कैन बी एनीथिंग, राइट? इट कैन बी रूल और इट कैन बी रेगुलेशन. प्लीज डू नॉट आस्क मी द डिफरेंस बिटवीन ऑल दीज वर्ड्स, although I have dealt with them at length, but there is no when at the local okay, leave it, right, at the courts, right? But then you don't have to understand this difference, but just remember these words. Okay, it can be even a notification, राइट जैसे आपकी यूपीएससी की नोटिफिकेशन आई है वो भी लॉ माना जाएगा. और इट कैन बी अ कस्टम और इट कैन बी अ यूजेज. ऑल दिस comes under definition of the law, right? Now and the laws in force, they also include all these things are included over there. Okay, but please understand one thing, that there's also use of the word, there another word that has been used is and the laws in force. Okay, there have been two terms used by make any law or the law in force. Okay, two words have been used, and it just basically means all the basic laws. Okay, now but please remember one thing, that the definition of what is a law might become complex for the purpose of lawyers, right? Now this is not important for you as such, but this definition has been defined under Article 13 clause 3. This can be asked in paper, just this much. Okay, now before I explain you about the next thing, okay, let me just do that all first. Okay, Article 13 clause 4, now this is related to the amendment of the constitution. Okay, this I will be covering when I teach you Article 368 at length. For now, just this much, that if anything, right, if any amendment is done to the constitution, and amendment is done under 368, right, if any amendment is done under Article 368, that is done through a constitutional amendment act, right? And all act kya hota hai? Acts are only laws. Okay, they are laws, right? They are rules. Okay, so the जो 368 के अंदर जो act बन रहा है, it will not be called law technically. उसको technically law नहीं कहा जाएगा Article 13 के purpose के लिए, right? Suppose there is a constitutional amendment act, right? This is done Article 368 के नीचे, ये amendment हुई, यहाँ से कुछ act बना, यानी कि एक law बना, right? Now this is law and this is law. अब पार्लियामेंट कोई लॉ नहीं बना सकती जिससे कि फंडामेंटल राइट को तोड़ा जा सके, ब्रीच किया जा सके. पार्लियामेंट कैन नॉट मेक अ लॉ व्हिच ब्रीचेस द फंडामेंटल राइट, राइट? बट वी हैव अ लॉ. Parliament can amend the constitution, but this Article 368 says, and also Article 13 says, if any amendment is done under Article 368, it will not be considered टेक्निकली लॉ, यानी कि इस डेफिनेशन में ना आए फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ दिस. ठीक है, अब आप सोचो कि इसका मतलब तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के अंदर वो चाहे अपनी मर्जी से हमारे फंडामेंटल राइट्स को खत्म कर दें. प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, फंडामेंटल राइट्स इन इंडिया और वर्ल्ड वाइड, फंडामेंटल राइट इसलिए नहीं एग्जिस्ट, दे डू नॉट एग्जिस्ट बिकॉज वी हैव कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. फंडामेंटल राइट्स exist even before the constitution was not there. Okay, so that means even if they abrogate, they take away all the fundamental rights, we will still have the fundamental rights with us. That is number one, right? They cannot be abrogated. We are humans, that is why we have fundamental right. Humans have Number two is, in Keshwananda Bharati case, Supreme Court said fine, the amendment of Article 368 will not be considered law for the purpose of Article 13, that means abridgment of the rights by Part 3, but there is something called basic structure of constitution and you cannot violate that. So because of this, we have a huge protection, right? We should be thankful Supreme Court for this Keshwananda Bharati judgment, right? I hope you have understood this technical part. If you have not, नीचे comment section में लिख दीजिएगा, I will reply back to you. But please ask me a question. Do not just say कि मुझे समझ में नहीं आया. Tell me what you have understood and what you have not understood. I will reply to you. Okay. Now, right, this is the whole thing about Article 13, right? Now, but you have to understand one more thing. There is a word over here, state. भाई अब ये state क्या होता है? मैंने पहले loosely word इसके लिए use कर दिया government. Okay. Now this state word has been defined under Article number 12. So that is why I said that I will talk to you about the Article 12 later on. Let's talk about Article 12 now. Article 12 क्या कहता है? देखें, Article 12 says, it says the state normally, unless the context otherwise says, okay, normally it would mean central government, okay, union government, right? It will mean state government, and it would mean legislatures of the state, right? And the government, right? Everything, legislature, right? And then local bodies, locals के अंदर कैसी चीजें आएंगी? जैसे पंचायत, राइट, म्यूनिसिपल काउंसिल, म्यूनिसिपैलिटी, ये सब भी हम पढ़ेंगे डिटेल में इन सब के बारे में, या फिर म्यूनिसिपल बोर्ड, वट एवर, राइट, इंटरमीडिएट पंचायत एंड ब्ला ब्ला, ऑल दोज थिंग्स. So we have all these things are called definition of state, right? Union, state government, right? And then legislature and the local and everyone, plus other authorities. ये अदर अथॉरिटीज क्या चीज है? यहां पर आके पंगे हो जाते हैं सारे के सारे इसके अंदर, राइट? दैट मीन्स स्टेट कैन नॉट मेक अ लॉ. दैट मीन्स द लॉ, बिकॉज इफ यू स्टेट कैन नॉट, द वर्ड वर स्टेट कैन नॉट मेक लॉ. ओके, नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द वर्ड स्टेट. Because if you have to file a writ petition, if you want to go to court against your fundamental right is breached, then you have to go to court. ये नहीं कि आपका अगर you know it's not so that parliament makes the law and it becomes void on its own. No, no, no. You have to go to court, and you go to court under Article 32 or 226 of the for writ petition, for filing the writ, right? Now this writ petition, writ के बारे में बात करेंगे आगे जाके. एक किस्म का केस ही होता है, भी आप गवर्नमेंट पे केस कर सकते हो, क्यों हमारा फंडामेंटल राइट ब्रीच हो गया. क्यों ब्रीच हो गया? क्योंकि उन्होंने लॉ ऐसा बनाया. I'll talk about writ, what is a writ in detail later on, but for now please understand that when I talk about Article 32 I will talk about it, but for now please just understand this much, that whenever the fundamental right is breached, right, then it's not that law becomes void on its own. You have to go to court, only then it becomes law, right? There's a presumption of constitutionality of the law, okay, and you cannot waive your right. that मैंने तो अपना right छोड़ दिया, ऐसा नहीं कुछ कर सकते होते आप, ठीक है ना. So you have to there's a presumption that the law, every law is valid, okay, and so there is a problem of what is the meaning of other authorities. Now case can be filed against only the law made by these people, right? Now this obviously question is, does this include private organization, union, state? अभी तक कुछ नहीं private, legislature, local, this पंचायत, municipal corporation, municipal board, this इसके अंदर कुछ भी private नहीं आया है. ये other authorities, does it include private sector or not? That is my question to you. Okay, we'll try to answer this question now. The answer to this question is a little complex answer, okay. So okay, let me just I will try to answer it by making it quite simple. So what does it mean, this thing, other authorities, okay. So while interpreting what are other authorities, ठीक है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि any authority on which government has a control, that is the other authority. Government has control. For example, HMT is there, Coal India is there, all those सरकारी कंपनियां भाई जिनके ऊपर सरकारी कंट्रोल है, all that are other authorities. कंपनी नहीं ना ऊपर आया, या फिर all the सरकारी companies, right, government companies. Now or even that is a financial, I mean the definition of the other authority. If there is something, anything, any institution, right, any corporation which depends on government financially, depends on government financially, and this is not just in a simple manner, right, in a full-fledged proper manner, it is almost depending on the government, right, or this is like number one, right, this is number two, and number three is if some organization, some corporation, right, corporation enjoys some company, corporation, some company, it enjoys monopoly, जैसे रेलवे की monopoly है, ठीक है, तो that also becomes under the definition of the other authorities, ठीक है. अब जो ये definition दी गई थी, if you can remember it is fine, even if you don't remember that is okay, please remember what was said in definition of other authorities. इस जो केस था यहाँ पे definition दी गई थी, उसका नाम था अजय हासिया. हंसते हुए उन्होंने कहा, अच्छा ये भी है अदर अथॉरिटीज को कैसे भूल गए तुम, ठीक है ना. तो ऐसी ऐसी चीजें अजय हासिया के अंदर बात की गई थी, ओके. एंड एनीथिंग, राइट, नॉट जस्ट दीज थ्री थिंग्स, देयर आर मोर थिंग्स टू इट. आई विल जस्ट लेट मी रब few things over here to better explain you. Yeah, this can be rubbed here. Okay, so number three, I told you about three things, right? Now let me talk about more things. Number four, this is in continuation of this, right? This is number four. And what is it? If there is something, state control is very high, if the state controls it in a very in a pervasive manner, एक गहरे तरीके से, सलीके से उन्होंने किसी को भी कंट्रोल कर रखा है स्टेट ने, and that corporation is a state agency or instrumentality, right, that even that is state ने कंट्रोल कर रखा है उसको भी हम, we will call it other authority, right. And if the function of the corporation is of public importance, okay, public importance, क्या public importance की चीज कोई हो उसको भी हम state कहेंगे. For example, let's talk about एक चीज की confusion है ना, और रट्टा मार लीजिए, I will not go into details of this. बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल फॉर क्रिकेट इन इंडिया, BCCI, आप लोगों को इसके बारे में मेरे से ज्यादा पता होगा क्रिकेट के बारे में. तो इज दिस अ स्टेट? Are they doing the work of state? It is not a state. Please remember this. Okay, एक रट्टा मार लीजिए, right? And then if any department of the government is transferred to corporation, even that becomes a state. Okay, but the definition, all this definition जो मैं आपको अजय हासिया केस से हंसते हुए केस से दे रहा हूँ, it is not complete in itself. This is not exhaustive. पूरी नहीं है. पूरी कहाँ है? पूरी एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करती है. सिंपल सी बात है, ठीक है जी. अब आखिर में एक आखिरी मेरे पास आपके लिए मुद्दा उठता है इसके अंदर. अब मान लीजिए रिलायंस डज समथिंग. Reliance is a company, or let's say Airtel, right, Mittals, or any company, like Tata is there, any private company, lot of people depend on them, right? Lot of people depend on them for their rosy roti, for financial things of theirs. इन्हीं पर depend करते हैं on these companies, private company. They came out with a law that you cannot do this, you cannot do that. These are private organization after all. And slowly in India privatization is increasing, and with the present government privatization is increasing even more. So we have more things happening, right? We have privatization increasing. Okay. So when the privatization increases, that means the more the more control on the people, on their employees would be by the private sector than the government sector. But you cannot file a case against these people. That means people will lose their fundamental rights. For example, I have fundamental right to religion, and so any other private company says that from tomorrow no one can wear a pagdi, whether Hindu, Sikh or Muslim, anyone, or no one can keep a mustache or a dadi, no one can keep a beard. ऐसा कोई लॉ बना दें, रिलायंस में बनाया नहीं है उन्होंने, but they can do it, right? They are private organization after all. So what will happen then? Will we lose our fundamental rights? I have a right to life. They say no, we will not give you lunch break. They can do something. After all, they are private. आप क्या करोगे? आप जाना ही पड़ेगा. अभी आप कहाँ से पैसे खाओगे? Either you'll follow have your fundamental right, or you be with them, or you go to, let's say, any other company. Let's say you go to Tata, and Tata people say from tomorrow no employee of the company can speak even a one word whenever they are in the premises. Okay, there can be conditions. There are hospitals where you cannot speak. I understand. There are places where you cannot speak. But then normal correspondence has to happen in people. या फिर कल एयरटेल वाले कर दे कि कोई कॉर्पोरेशन कोई हमारे अगेंस्ट धरने नहीं दे सकते. यू कैन नॉट डू अ धरना और बंद अगेंस्ट अस. यू कैन नॉट फॉर्म अ यूनियन. इवन दैट विल ब्रीच योर फंडामेंटल राइट अंडर आर्टिकल 19. तो क्या करें? हमारे फंडामेंटल राइट फिर जाएंगे कहां? ये चिंता का विषय बन गया है. वेयर विल आवर फंडामेंटल राइट गो? इट इज अ मैटर ऑफ कंसर्न फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस. Right, so in this context, there is not a proper answer to this question. All I can say that, after all, these companies work in a society only, right? They do not work in seclusion. And if they do not work according to the norms of the society, the basic rights of the people, what will happen? People will stop connecting to such companies. यही होगा ना eventually. And then it is more of a political thing. They can government can come up with a law जिससे कि उनके ऊपर restriction लग जाए, private sector के ऊपर कुछ restrictions लग सकती हैं, ठीक है ना? So then some cases can be filed, but then and then the process of judiciary, जो हमारी judiciary भी होती है, even that judiciary is quite a dynamic, right? हमारी this judiciary of ours, this is a dynamic and it grows, right? So whenever there is need, it just might come out. For example, there was a case against this Union Carbide Corporation in the case of Bhopal gas tragedy, right? Now they cannot absolve from responsibility, right? So such things exist. So that was about article number 12 and 13. Now after this will come right to equality, which will be done under article 14, 15, 16, right? And then 17 and 18. So we will talk about these articles in the next lecture, right? That is one, and I'll try to finish off all the articles as ASAP, right, as soon as possible. And till then, just one request to you all, and that is the same request I've been doing, and some of you have responded. I am thankful to you for doing that. Thank you. And whoever has not done it, just my humble request, please share this video on your social media, on Twitter and on Facebook. I would be grateful to you from my heart. That supports me, that helps me make better videos. And you can always subscribe to our channel, then the videos will come directly into your email, right? And here, by clicking here, you can subscribe to our channel. So that is all, and thank you for watching.